guys. So today I'm just gonna be reading some interesting quotes and poems that I found. Well, they came out in a video game. So I've been playing this game on Civilization 6. I've played it a long time before, but I got back into it. And they have a lot of little interesting quotes in that game. And I just figured I'd let you guys know some of them. I think there's a lot, but we'll see. We'll see how far we get. Anyway, let's get started. So, like I said, there's a lot of them. Personally, some I really like and some I don't get all that much, but I'll let you be the judge. So the first one is by Plutarch. And Plutarch said, "No man ever wetted clay and left it, as if there would be bricks by chance and fortune." The second one is by Janet Finch. And she said, "I thought clay must feel happy in the good potter's hand." Yeah, I think that was neat. It's like a substance and you make art with it, you know? Like, wow. Next one is by Will Rogers. If there are no dogs in heaven, then when I die, I want to go where they went. The next one is by Winston Churchill. And he said, "I am fond of pigs. Dogs look up to us. Cats look down on us. But pigs treat us as equals." The next one is by Merle Travis. And she said, "Who deserves more credit than the wife of a coal miner?" The next one is one of my favorites. It's by Will Rogers. And he said, "When you find yourself in a hole, quit digging." And I think I like that one a lot. So if you find yourself in a hole, make sure the first thing you do is stop digging. That's nice. One of my favorite ones. Next one is by Benjamin Franklin. And he said, "Vessels large may venture more, but little boats should keep near shore." The next one is by Sir Francis Drake. And he said, "It is not that life ashore is distasteful to me, but life at sea is better." The next one's pretty funny. So this is by Arthur C. Clarke. And he said, "I don't believe in astrology. I'm a Sagittarius, and we're skeptical." Nice. That's funny. guys are. I think I'm a Leo. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm a Leo. I mean, I know I'm a Leo. I don't know why I said I think. Anyway, the next one is by Hippocrates. I don't know if I'm pronouncing his name right. Hippocrates or Hippocrates? No, Hippocrates. Yeah. I always read his name. Like, I see his name pop up every now and then. I think he was like the father of medicine, I think. Anyway, I always read his name somewhere and I never say his name, so I think it's Hippocrates. Because you know the Hippocratic Oath? The one that says, do no harm. Oh, well. Jeez, I said it. I said another quote that wasn't on the list. Okay, so, by Hippocrates. A physician without a knowledge of astrology has no right to call himself a physician. Dang. I mean, I don't know how astrology would help, but... Next one. It's by W.H. Auden. Thousands have lived without love, but no one without water. Dang. Next we have Sir John Thomson. The man who has grit enough to bring about the afforestation or the irrigation of a country is not less worthy honor than its conqueror. I guess that one's just more so gratitude towards people that actually made the land livable in the past. Okay, this one's kind of funny. Henry Wadsworth Longfellow said, I shot an arrow into the air. It fell to the earth. I knew not where. Don't shoot stuff into the air, guys. The next one is by George Carlin, which I forget. Was he a comedian? Sounds familiar. George Carlin. I don't remember. Anyway, he said, may the forces of evil become confused while your arrow is on the way to the target. Yeah, I don't know why a comedian would say that. I'm probably thinking of someone else. The next one is by Paulo Coelho. He said, writing means sharing. It's part of the human condition to want to share things, thoughts, ideas, opinions. Nice. Next one is by Mark Twain. And he said, writing is easy. All you have to do is cross out the wrong words. Okay. Mark Twain is an interesting fellow. Next one is by Adrienne Clarkson. And they said, each of us is carving a stone, erecting a column, or cutting a piece of stained glass in the construction of something much bigger than ourselves. That one's pretty neat. I could see that, like every action or inaction you take is building something that you might not even directly be aware of. Yeah, okay. Next one is by Shakespeare. And he said, when wasteful war shall statues overturn, and broils root out of work of masonry. Okay, I don't get that one. When wasteful war shall statues overturn, and broils root out the work of masonry. Yeah, I don't know. The next one is by Aeschylus. I think I pronounced that right. Aeschylus. And he said, bronze is the mirror of form and the wine of the mind. No. Richard MacDonald said, I'm also interested in creating a lasting legacy because Civilization 6 will last for thousands of years. I think that might be one of the developers or something. The next one is by Lorne Michaels. I don't know who that is. Is that the person that's... Because there's a building called the Lorne, right? It's like a museum or something. Anyway, I might look that up. Lorne Michaels said, sometimes the wheel turns slowly, but it still turns. Anthony D'Angelo said, don't reinvent the wheel, just realign it. John Masefield said, and all I ask for is a tall ship and a star to steer her by. Omar Bradley said, state your course by the stars, not by the lights of every passing ship. Okay, I want to pronounce this one correctly. Some of these guys are pretty ancient. So, Epictetus, I think that's his name. Because it says Epictetus. Epictetus, I think. Anyway, he said, wealth consists of not having great possessions, but in having few wants. I could definitely agree with that. Wealth consists of not having great possessions, but in having few wants. Next one is by Helen Gurley Brown. She said, money, if it doesn't bring you happiness, well, at least it will help you be miserable in comfort. Now, I've heard the modern take on that, and it goes something like, I'd rather cry in my Lamborghini. So, I guess that's the modern take of what she said right here. Okay, so the next one is by Winston Churchill again. No hour of life is wasted that is spent on the saddle. So, he really liked riding horses. Another man named John Steinbeck agreed. He said, a man on a horse is spiritually as well as physically bigger than a man on foot. Mary Ostman said, the Lord made us all of iron. Then he turns up the heat to forge some of us into steel. Dang, that one goes hard. Pun intended. Here we got Mark Twain again. Everything has its limits. Iron ore cannot be educated into gold. We got a Captain E.J. Smith. He said, I cannot imagine any condition which would cause a ship to flounder. Modern shipbuilding has gone beyond that. We got one from Thomas Gibson. And he said, there is nothing but a plank between a sailor and eternity. Okay, my pronunciation is about to suffer a little bit. So the next one is by Shakuntala Devi. I think I said that right. Shakuntala Devi. And they said, without mathematics, there's nothing you can do. Everything around you is mathematics. Everything around you is numbers. When I read into mathematics, like, I'll be honest, I'm not very good at math. My strong suit in college was statistics, but when you dig into math, like at a higher level, like it is hard. You need a solid foundation on knowing and remembering all these rules and equations and when to use what. And a lot of it comes down to like proof. Like you're proving things work. And I think that's an interesting way to look at numbers, because when you're young, you kind of see it as more as just finding a solution. And I remember back in school sometimes, I wouldn't understand a formula, and I didn't want to ask the teacher for whatever reason. And I would come up with the answer through different means. And I thought that was cool, but literally all I was doing was using, like, I was just doing the hard way of getting an answer instead of using why the formula was created in the first place. So I think that's interesting with math. That's just like a bunch of, I guess I could say that about all things, right? But there's a lot of smart people that figured out a lot of things before us. And we're just trying to interpret their work. So, anyway, I got off on a tangent. Now, the next guy, from Galileo, and he said, if I were again beginning my studies, I would follow the advice of Plato and start with mathematics. Ooh. Now, next one is by Chris Jammy. And they stated, create with the heart, build with the mind. We also got a Dave Barry, and he stated, the 4 building blocks of the universe are fire, water, gravel, and vinyl. I wonder how many things use vinyl around us. And as he said that as a joke, it kind of meant like a record player kind of thing. But our next one is by a man named Robert Heinlein, yeah. And he said, one man's magic is another man's engineering. And again, I think that's a trip. Like if you look at the ancient Romans and how they use like aqueducts to get water to different places and how they use irrigation techniques. Like, man, these guys are like close to 2,000 years old, or even more than 2,000, some of them. like, these guys were smart, you know. The trip. Anyway, I guess one could see something like a big work of engineering as magic. Like, you guys want to see something crazy? Look up how the Panama Canal was made. Like, literally some guys just looked at a piece of landmass, like literal landmass, and was like, let's cut through that so ships could get through. And then they were like, wait, how would that work, since the way, like, you're creating a river in a way. So to mess with a bunch of forces of like water and all this, the shape of the land itself, that whole canal has like a multi-level elevator, multiple elevators. Like, it's a whole trip, guys. I wouldn't even be able to fully explain it, but the Panama Canal trips me out, because like, it's literally mankind is saying, hey, let's make a shortcut through this friggin' land. Magic. Alright, guys, I'll do a few more. The next one is by Scott Adams, and he said, normal people believe that if you ain't broke, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Engineers believe that if it ain't broke, it doesn't have enough features yet. That's funny. So I've always liked engineering, but I never, if I could go back, I would probably get into it. But I have a lot of friends that are like, I guess, blue collar workers, tradesmen, and they beef with engineers a lot, because engineers usually make like a complex build so it works and it's efficient. But a lot of craftsmen, tradesmen, they do things very similarly, but a lot of times they repair the things that the engineers created. So they're back and forth. I think it's kind of funny. But both have, skills and talents to create things, and both are very necessary. Okay, so the next one is by Saul Alensky. They said, tactics means doing what you can with what you have. That's neat. And the last one, strategy requires thought, tactics require observation. And that was by Max Ewu, I think. Max Ewu. I don't know. It kind of sounds like I'm saying ooh. I don't know. So Max and then EUWE. Okay, well, that's it for this video, guys. I'll probably do a follow-up with this next time, or if I have another idea, I'll go through that. But I hope you enjoyed it, guys, and I'll see you guys next time.